From the studios of Mud Advertising in Cedar Falls, Iowa, this is Mud TV.
I'm Gary Kroger, your host of a very special edition of Mud TV. I'm with the Christmans, Catherine and Ken Christman from South Carolina. They're with the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Tower Foundation. And I want to get right into it. I know the Stephen Siller story. I know you're related, Catherine.
Yes, so we're cousins.
Tell us the story.
Well, Stephen Siller was off duty. He had just gotten off duty on the morning of 9/11. He had left his firehouse in Brooklyn, New York, and was headed back to his home on Staten Island, New York, when the scanner in his truck went off, and it alerted Stephen to the fact that something was going on at the World Trade Center. He immediately turned his truck around and went back to his firehouse. But by that time, Gary, everybody had gone. So Stephen didn't let that stop him. He grabbed about 70 pounds of his firefighting gear, threw it in his truck, and headed out for the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. That's the quickest way to the World Trade Center. And when he got there, the tunnel was blocked off. So again, he didn't let that stop him. He grabbed his 70 pounds of gear, ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to the World Trade Center towers, and that's where he was killed. We believe in the South Tower. And that's why our foundation is called Tunnel to Towers, in his memory and to honor him.
Ken, tell us about Tunnel to Towers then.
Well, the race is held on the last Sunday of September each year. It started out very small. The Stephen's brothers and sisters, 3 brothers and 3 sisters, wanted to do something in his memory, to continue his legacy, so to speak, so people wouldn't forget the great sacrifice, not only that Stephen made, but all the first responders that day. And so they decided to ask the city of New York to shut down one tube of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Well, if you're from New York, you know that just doesn't happen, but it did happen. And so the first September after 9/11, in September 2002, they held the first run from the Tunnel to Towers run, and about 2,500 people showed up. Last September 2012, over 35,000 people ran through that tunnel, or walked through, in my case, and ran in his footsteps, repeated what he did on the original 9/11 day. So it's been a growing experience every year since it first started back in 2002.
And these people were from all over the world. And some of the firefighters who come from London and other places, they run through the tunnel in their gear, the way Stephen did.
Really?
It is unbelievable. It is so touching. And it's warm in that tunnel, and there's a slight incline. And there were 343 firefighters who were killed that day, Greg. And there are 343 firefighters every year that hold the picture of each one of those guys who were killed that day. We think we know what 343 looks like, but until you see guy after guy after guy holding a picture, then you totally realize what the impact of that day was like.
Well, now, so what is the foundation doing? Awareness, raising funds? Where has it gone from there?
Well, initially, the foundation did a lot of things in terms of donating money to burn units. After Hurricane Katrina, it helped to rebuild a firehouse in New Orleans in Stephen's memory. But in more recent years, the past 2 years, we have partnered with the Gary Sinise Foundation. And our mission has been to build high-tech smart homes for the military heroes returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. And we have pledged to build a smart home, a customized one all over the country, for every returning triple and quadruple amputee from Iraq or Afghanistan. What people don't realize is because of medical advancements, this is the first time they've been able to save the lives of quadruple amputees. And people aren't prepared for that when they come home. What do you do with these folks so that they can live independent lives on their own, or as much as possible? So we identified that gap, and we decided to fill it. And in conjunction with Gary Sinise's foundation, that's what we do.
And as we know, Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Dan Band, they perform to raise funds, and that's in cooperation now with the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
That's exactly right. And Gary, usually, we consider his concert to be the formal fundraising kickoff.
Okay.
Of course, sometimes a lot is done before that, but that really gets everybody's attention and everything focused. And of course, we all want to get Taylor Morris and Danielle Kelly into their high-tech smart home as soon as possible, and by purchasing tickets to our concert that we're having in conjunction with what's going on in Cedar Falls.
That's why you're here right now, is because
right.
On Saturday,
right.
Lieutenant Dan's going to be playing,
correct.
And we're going to sell tickets to
right.
that, and that's going to be up on the screen.
So there's a direct connection between purchasing that ticket and getting Taylor and Danielle in their homes. sooner rather than later.
Now, going back to Stephen Siller, and I know you're related,
Yes.
it seems to be a pretty, obviously his heroism speaks for his character. I know that he was an orphan and a wonderful father.
Yes.
And isn't there something, legacy of love, is that part of the foundation? Where the foundation is helping children, perhaps, who have lost a parent.
That was very much the focus in the first few years. In those days, we were exclusively in Iraq, or for the most part. And what we did was any child who lost a parent, we would help out financially as soon as they were identified to us, or however they needed assistance. Our mission has somewhat transitioned, as I said. We're still aware of that, but in more recent years, it has been the focus to build the high-tech homes for these heroes who are coming home. And, you know, they have all the guts in the world, and they're free on the outside. Some of these guys now are skydiving, and Taylor is kayaking. And I watched Animal Planet one day. I was channel surfing, and one of them was wrestling an alligator. But when they come back to their homes, they're not free. They're freer outside than when they come back to their homes.
I was watching one of the videos on YouTube, and I can't tell you which soldier it was, but he was a quadruple amputee. And all of this was happening for him, and he got his new home. And he said, "How did I get so lucky?" And I found that to be an amazing thing to say, because you're right, they're there.
Yeah.
And now
it's
they
very
have a
touching.
way to live and to negotiate their home and be in the community.
And it frees up their caregivers. That's something that we're learning too. In the beginning, we were focused on their freedom and independence, but by giving them their independence, tangentially, their loved ones caring for them are getting their freedom, because now they have their own iPad. They can be secure in their own homes. They can take care of everything they need. They can get their own coffee cup. And so whoever is their caregiver is free to go out and live their lives during the day too, and then return home. So a lot of folks are getting their independence and freedom with every set of keys that we turn over to a home.
I want people to know how they can help. Now, of course, they can go to the concert on the weekend, and every ticket sale goes
Absolutely.
to the foundations. But also, they can go to the, what is the foundation.org?
Yeah, tunneltotowersfoundation.org. And if they click on Building for America's Bravest, and there's no doubt that folks like Taylor are our bravest, they can go on there and make donations exclusively to Taylor's home. We have drilled down that far, and we have the bios of all of the heroes. So if you want Taylor, fine. If you want to read some of the other bios and donate to some of those other folks as well in their homes, you're absolutely free to do that.
It's an easy website to navigate. And
Thank you.
There are people who will be out of town on the weekend who can't be at Lieutenant Dan. But please, go to that website. Make a donation. Choose who you'd like to donate to, or make a general donation. Every single thing is going towards something really, really wonderful.
Well, first of all, Stephen's 6 older brothers and sisters started this foundation, and they would never do anything other than honor his memory. So believe you me, every single nickel is accounted for, and their focus totally is on honoring Stephen's legacy and honoring the service of people such as Taylor. So everyone's faith in our foundation is well-founded.
Well, and I have great faith in you continuing this mission. We're all very proud of you. We're so happy to have you
Thank
here.
you, Gary.
And
pleasure.
please,
Thank
give
you.
that foundation. It's right up there, tunneltotowersfoundation.org. I don't like to say, do it sometime. Do it now. Just do it now.
And we'd like to thank the folks in Iowa. I've traveled all over the country with this and building homes all over the country, and Iowans are very, very special and very supportive.
Well, you know what? That's a nice plug for Iowa. Let's show them how generous we are. Donate. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being
Thank you.
here.
Our pleasure.
And have a wonderful mission.
Thank
because
you very much.
You're really doing something fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.